Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News, and with the VCT North America Stage 2 groups beginning tomorrow, Sentinels of course have been the big story of the last few weeks, just about qualifying all the way through. TenZ is explaining exactly why they made the change that they did with Campeki in place of Zombs, and Campeki is explaining the fact that there's really no beef between him and Zombs, despite the roster change that they made only a couple of weeks ago. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that. Plenty to dive into today. Firstly, just to mention this, honestly, like, it never ceases to amaze me, some of the organizations, some of the teams that arise. People were saying that actually this logo looks rather similar to XSET's, but yes, the Squirrel Warriors, Weeded and the boys are joining this team, so actually a pretty solid roster, but like some of these organization names do just crack me up every single time. This just to mention as well, because Ian Harding from the version 1 side is wondering he's the coach of that team. Of course, they failed to qualify this time around. They had a bit of drama already when Whippy couldn't come back in time. Wardell, like when they had the Wardell lineup, that was actually the closest they actually came to qualifying. But you know, they did well first time around. They went 5-0 in the regular stages, but failed to qualify, of course, for Masters at the playoffs. They then find themselves with 35 circuit points. Now, honestly, it's unfortunate that hasn't been talked about at all, really, how this is going to work. But the top two, Optic and the Guards. So these two teams have a great chance to go to Champions. Like, Optic certainly will with the amount of points they have already right here. But like, look at all these other teams. And the teams that don't automatically go to Champions, so the two teams with the most points, I guess, at the end of Stage 2 Masters, like those two teams in green here, which are currently Optic and the Guard, but I guess Guard could get overhauled here. Those will be the two teams that get to go through to the World Championship guaranteed from North America. Now, the other team, I guess only one team or two teams or whatever that get to go, is going to be determined through the last chance qualifier, which, as it was last year, is the 8 teams outside of the top 2, because last year that was Envy and Sentinels. I'm pretty sure that were the top 2 that got to go to the World Championship regardless. Outside of those top 2, it was Cloud9 that won the open qualifier, Cloud9 Blue, to qualify through. Now, as it turns out this year, there's many teams in the running. So let's say it is Optic and the Guard that locked down number 1, number 2 after Stage 2 Masters. You've then got, we believe, the next 8 teams from 3 down to joint 9th right here. So it would be on current form at Cloud9, XSET, Luminosity, version 1, Knight, Sentinels, 100 Thieves, NRG, would be the 8 teams that have enough points as it is right now to get through to the last chance qualifier. And then those 8 teams would battle it out for the one final spot for North America to go to the World Championship. Now, of course, these points are going to change. This is just one stage in. Cloud9 have quite a lot, and version 1 have 35. After a pretty good run, honestly, in the of course, in the first time round, they went 5-0. That's why I guess they have a little bit more points than Sentinels. But version 1 failed to qualify. Sentinels did qualify. Therefore, they will get more points. 100 Thieves will get more points. NRG will get more points. Like, yeah, these teams will probably move up. Now, version 1 have to hope, honestly, that some of these other teams don't get enough points to pass them of their 35, which in fairness, they probably should be okay for. But it's not really in their hands anymore whether they even have anything to do for the rest of the year. And that's the thing, like, the teams don't really know. If you're version 1, you don't know whether you're even going to be playing the LCQ or not. Your year could be over if you're version 1. Like, it could just be done for. Like, Knights as well are in a similar boat. Their year might just be done for at this point, apart from, like, maybe third-party tournaments that are going to be organised. So, like, it's really tough to determine whether you can actually do anything else for the rest of the season. Version 1 will probably be okay to get to the LCQ at least, so they have some further reasoning to actually practice. But I do think that on this metric, the format this year is kind of strange. Just to mention this real quick on the Chamber front, I do wonder what we will see in the upcoming kind of, well, the patch update that is going to be played on now for the, well, the matches that begin tomorrow, because of course Chamber has now been nerfed to maybe a significant degree. Obviously, like, the nerf is significant. Whether it really changes what he does, though, as that was a perma-op crutch, is another question mark entirely. But of course, Fade comes in, the Jet changes come in as well. The pros are going to be able to actually play on the meta that has currently been introduced. Whether that's good or bad, I suppose we shall find out. This also was kind of funny if you guys missed it. Yesterday, we saw that 100 Thieves seemingly took down Optic in a nice little scrim set here, 13-6. And FNS says to Nature, can you tell Asuna to start taking scrims seriously, right? Because I know FNS has kind of said in the past that some people he plays against in scrims, they're just doing stupid stuff on the map and, like, you know, not even, it's not like they're not trying, but like they're just doing stuff they wouldn't do in real matches. So maybe FNS was kind of getting frustrated about whatever scrim set they played here up against 100 Thieves guys just a couple of days ago. Let's dive into these groups, and this is the broadcast talent for Stage 2, the main event that's, well, beginning just tomorrow. This also thought was really cool. There's some sort of content piece going on with them, well, new video, I guess, coming out today, with Marv from the Optic side, Trent from the Guards, I think it's Sabrosa from TSM, Zeta from C9, and also Cryo from XSET. They're doing some sort of content piece following these guys' journey or whatever the case might be, so thought that was really cool to see how that one goes. Like, of course, some of these guys are going to match up against each other over the coming weeks as well. These, of course, are the groups. If you guys missed them, the Guard, XSET, NRG, TSM, 100 Thieves, Ghost Gaming, that's tough to call. Group B is maybe somewhat more clear-cut, and of course, this is Sentinels group, which is probably a harder group on paper for them to actually get out of. Top 4 go through, but you know, if you get number 4 seed, you only start in the losers bracket, as we looked at yesterday, which is pretty tough, honestly, if you want to qualify through for Masters, because if you do, well, start in losers bracket, let's say Sentinels get 4th seed here, they start in losers, therefore they have to win 5 series in a row at the the playoffs events for North America. If they want to win the entire thing, and it'll be, I guess, 4 series in a row they've got to win if they want to actually qualify to go to the Masters event. This also for Moose I thought was kind of funny. Group B is not harder. Group A contains NRG, and NRG contains TenZ, and Ethan's certainly gassing him up as well. So yeah, people say NRG is actually a very solid squad. They were really good last time and just didn't really get the numbers and the results that really well accounted for that, in my opinion. Ethan maybe has been the key force to take this team to the next level. Wanted to discuss TenZ real quick because he's kind of frustrated right now about the state of ranked in this game, but he was also talking about the change that Sentinels made. He was saying, look, Raucus did an awful lot to our team, like the fact that we had a couple of series, especially the Saw one they played. Saw was the penultimate series that they played. They 2-0'd them, but there was potentially one situation where they kind of had their backs against the wall, and Raucus said, look, guys, like, calm down, like, let's not blame each other and stuff, get in each other's heads, let's just focus up and go again for the rest of the game. So TenZ reckon, like, look, Raucus was a big impact for them in becoming a team that can win 10 maps straight against teams that, of course, they should be beating, but in the circumstances, given their tough, last few weeks, 10 maps in a row to qualify was pretty impressive work from the Sentinels guys, and he reckons that Raucus had a big part to play in that, but also talking about the actual change they made. Zombs out, of course, cNed coming into the lineup, and why they decided to make this move. Pretty much saying that they were so lost as a team that they really didn't know what to do, and they just thought something has to give. ShahZaM, of course, said about the work ethic and the work rate and stuff of Zombs wasn't really there, and Zombs certainly disagreed with that sentiment as we looked at a few days ago, but TenZ was like, look, something had to change. We just decided Zombs was going to be the guy to be gone. We kind of wanted cNed in. We made the move and it's worked out.
Your thoughts on having Zombs picking up Eric? It's like no opinions of it. I mean, like, I think what happened was we were slumping, and then I guess as a team collectively we just decided that something needs to like change, and then like it's not necessarily Zombs was a problem at all. It's just we had no clue what to do, and we had to do something different. Definitely, that felt more. Definitely felt like a vintage squad performance from us. Because in recent times, it's been it was kind of rough for us. Where I do think that that Raucus really helps, in my opinion. Okay, I'm not gonna disregard any teams that beat us, but I feel like a lot of time it felt like we were like beating ourselves in the way where we would like if we make a mistake, we'd hold a grudge or something like that, and then we wouldn't be able to like focus, and we get tilted, and then the tilt kind of like just lowers everyone's like morale like that. So definitely today, like especially in like the Soar series, it happened where we were getting a little bit frustrated, and Raucus takes a pause and he's like, "Hey guys, like calm down. Next round, like the match isn't over. There's no need to like hold anything against anyone. They're not like doing anything with ill intentions."
Any beef with Zombs? I don't have anything against Zombs, man. I mean, obviously, I understand like Zombs be like. I don't think like Zombs doesn't know me. I don't think we have any beef between each other. But obviously, like getting like replaced on a team, I guess you can have beef in that regard. But like, I don't know. I hope he doesn't. I mean, I fully respect him a lot as a player. Like genuinely, I think he's a good player too. Like I don't think anyone questions it. You don't win Masters with anyone like being a bad player. Like this guy's a Masters winner. There's not many Masters winners out there. He's a really good player. I respect him a lot as a player.
Check the stats. Oh, I can. All right. They're about to all delete me, bro. They're about to look at their friends list and just all delete me.
What?
Nah, I was like showing them the stats, but I had the stream on, like blocking it the whole time. I'm not commenting on it, but if you guys want to see it, I'm showing it to you. I'm not going to comment on it.
And of course, cNed there also describing the fact that like he doesn't really see there as being beef with Zombs, but I shared that brief clip at the end there, which there's been a few clips that have come up from Zombs which are kind of implied, like most people kind of look at the situation and say, okay, Zombs is understandably, I guess, and cNed agrees, like, he's right to be frustrated, he's right to be a bit salty about getting dropped from the team. It kind of makes sense. If you're in Zombs' shoes, you probably feel like you won't really be issue with the squad. All of a sudden, like, the team brings in cNed, they look maybe somewhat better. Of course, with Zombs, they won Masters in Iceland, right? So obviously, Masters champion, as cNed very well says, that like, look, this guy's a legendary player, like, it looks up to him an awful lot. Understandably, that Zombs might be pretty frustrated with the situation, but like, TenZ saying, look, there's no real hard feelings there, at least from his perspective and from cNed's perspective, but it's like, look, something had to give with this team. We decided to make the move. Like, Raucus came in, and they've probably looked the best they've looked in quite some time. And even as TenZ said, he felt like their victory they had on that final day, like, felt like a more vintage Sentinels performance. And if they can get back to that kind of level, then, and even Zombs said he had some ideas of how this team can can get back to the point, and part of that probably included bringing a coach into this team, then they could be a seriously scary force over these coming weeks as well. Of course, from the Zombs perspective, tough to say what he's going to end up doing going forwards, but you can kind of understand the frustration from his perspective as well. But of course, these guys are all streaming all the time anyway, so we get a lot of clips along these lines. Just to mention this, actually, just to kind of show this how it transpired. The 5 series they won in a row, or of course 10 maps in a row, especially defeating a crew there in the final qualification series, was pretty impressive. So none of these competitors are incredibly, should be on Sentinels level, but still where they were a few days ago doing series like this, of course against better teams though, to go on a 10 map series win streak is pretty impressive stuff, no doubt. And these are their upcoming games. So just tomorrow they will play their first game up against Luminosity, then Evil Geniuses, Optic, FaZe and Cloud9. So probably their matches start out easier and get somewhat harder, as in LG and Evil Geniuses should be 2 of the easier games in the group theoretically, so they're going to need to improve quickly. Of course they've been improving pretty significantly over the last few days they had in the qualifiers, but of course they can't really afford to do that the same thing again, right, and get better and better as the kind of matches go on. Of course they want to, but it's not going to be easy to be an Optic or Cloud9, right? But maybe this new roster does indeed have it in them. So very much intrigued to your perspective on this one. Just to look at this, if you guys kind of missed it, the group schedule has been released. These are the games going on tomorrow. The Guard 100 Thieves, Luminosity, Sentinels, those are the games of tomorrow. These are the rest of the week one games, if you guys are unfamiliar with it. This also just to mention, of course, win that kind of Guard versus 100 Thieves series. Some discussions really because, as Derek says, duo with the Guard, Val and Guard, so I can get a sneak peek of Friday, what we kind of are here to expect, and Val is maybe kind of indicating what might be going on in terms of map picks. Gord should be a breeze for 100T. I hope this ranked match really binds us together. Split. So maybe those are the maps that they're going to go for, or maybe they're just completely baiting 100 Thieves out in this particular situation. And just to finish off with a nice little clutch. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us your YouTube gods, this is a good video, and as you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.